Absolutely, and Twitter is a perfect stage for that in the sense that it allows you your own voice, and it allows other people that have similar interests to talk about the same thing. And I don't know about you personally, but I've found that the more honest and open and sharing I am, in the stream, and I've even had parts of my family say, hey, you shouldn't probably put out everything about your entire life and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But I do, and I found that the more I do it, I'm actually doing it for me. I'm not doing it for them, or I'm glad they get something out of it, but I'm getting something out of it. That's why I do it all the time, every day, is I'm getting the interaction. It's an outlet for the streams of information that are just constantly downloading into my brain. So it's a way for me to put it out and get an instant feedback and response from an audience that's listening, just the way we do, if you're on Aware Talk Radio, or you would do on YouTube or anywhere else that you want to connect with people. And I really appreciate it for that matter, and meeting people like you. And I've been listening to you for a long time. I've seen the content you put out, from the information to, the realities of your own situations. And I applaud it all. I mean, I think it's always something of valuable every time I see that icon in the stream. And that's what people have come to know you as, I think.
Well, I really appreciate that a lot. And, something that we could discuss, though, are social networks and the very real dangers and stresses that social networks cause in individual lives.
What kind of dangers? What kind of danger?
Well, see, I mean, I've created a larger-than-life character here. I am faceless, and, I'm masked behind this pseudonym, Vincenzo Scipioni, who certainly is an extension of myself and a living, breathing individual. With that, I have the freedom to say whatever I want. But I don't say whatever I want because I do draw some lines for myself and for my following. I mean, I have people who I have befriended who are holy roller, born-again Christians to, complete nut jobs. And I have the ability to seek out the good. So even though I have an eclectic audience, I try to run a line that is going to certainly jar people, but not turn people off. That's what I try to do, even with all my freedom. But when you're a real individual using your real picture, and your real friends are aware of it, like a Facebook, Twitter, there are some things perhaps that are better left unrecorded on the internet, because corporations are starting to search. So if they see you smoking bongs, that's not the most brilliant idea. If they see you type, "my boss is an asshole," some of these things may turn back to haunt us. So I say, when you create something in a social network, you must create the most accurate, truest extension of self and be proud of it. When we thought about the internet in the beginning, if you remember America Online, you weren't allowed to use your real name. You had to come up. I remember being a little kid, and my mom's like, think of a name for America Online, and I thought about my favorite artist, which was Salvador Dali, so I picked Dali. Now, today, the exact opposite is happening, and they are encouraging you to share your own pictures, share your own life, talk about, I'm in this restaurant, I got sick, here's pictures of me on vacation. And what's happening now is we are offering up so much information about ourselves that not only do people know our exact whereabouts and our thoughts, but I think perhaps some of these things can be used against us and come back to haunt us. That's why they're dangerous. And in actuality, we're making these social networks rich because what is valuable on the internet is content. So when they sold YouTube for billions of dollars, they didn't sell a website that some kids made in the basement. They sold hundreds of millions of hours of video. Our tweets are not our tweets. They are their tweets. And you will see that if you ever get your account suspended for something and you can't access it, if you take pride in your tweets and you feel them in a sense of a body of work or an extension of self, it feels like you lost a child. You feel completely violated if you cannot access your friends, people that you care about, and this information that you've created and you found and you shared. So I encourage people to create their own websites and make their website search engine optimized and use content management systems that are pieces of software and build an extension of themselves that they truly control and own every aspect of it, and use the social networks as a complement to those things, or maybe a way to communicate with immediacy. But there are perhaps, as my Uncle Frankie once told me, he said, there are a lot of things in your lifetime that you're going to think that you never thought, and there are a lot of things that you're going to do that you never did. And I don't know why we're sharing up all of this information, especially these GPS tweets, which I think are the most idiotic. Something bad is going to happen inevitably from all this.